Hello everyone and welcome to week 2 of unit 1. I'm sorry for the intense glare on my glasses. It's a little bit late and the light is shining on them. Okay, so you can see that the screen here is positioned to week 2 and it's on the very first item, due dates. I just want to draw your attention to the table of contents here on the left. And we're going to take a look at that. It's a little bit crunched in, so we have to kind of scroll back and forth here. But you can see that in each of these weekly videos, I'm not going to go through what's in all of this. I'm just doing it now to remind you of what each week consists of. So you will see the due dates, objectives, and checklist of assignments. I'm going to go through that very quickly, and then we go through the objectives of week 2. So you'll remember that week 1 was an introduction to the course, and also you got a little bit of a head start with Essay 1. Essay 1 is based on the diagnostic that you wrote about in the article, the commuting benefits. So Essay 1 is going to be your revision and recrafting of Essay 1. Think of the diagnostic essay. Think of the diagnostic essay as your first draft, and then you're going to revise that draft over and over when you learn different concepts in well, you learned some in week 1, and you're going to learn more in week 2 and week 3, and at the end of week 3, that's when you hand in your final draft. Okay, so the objectives of, let's just look at the due dates. Everything due this week is due Saturday, June 18th at 11:59 p.m. I always tell you what your graded assignments are. The checklist of assignments will include a pretty comprehensive list of all of the activities, graded and ungraded, but the graded assignments are blog 1, which is going to consist of your new thesis and your first body paragraph, so I can see if you're on track. Blog 2 is going to be point and counterpoint, which is about addressing opposing concerns and objections that your audience might have to any point in your argument. And then there's an MLA quiz, which is going to be based on readings, which you can take as many times as you want to until you get whatever score that you want, and you learn the basics of in-text citations, and works cited, corresponding works cited. Okay, so you have 3 graded assignments this week. You can see that there's sort of a list, pretty long list here of things that are included. This right here where it says Unit 1, Essay 1, probably says week 1 too, hold on. Week 2, sorry, is going to be where this video is housed, so there's no need to look at that right now. Okay, this folder here, which may not appear to you as a folder, but more like a heading, and then some instructional documents. So all of your E1 instructional documents are right here. This looks awfully big. Let's tone this down a little bit. Yeah, okay. So these are all your instructional documents, right? Your Essay 1 instruction document in its entirety. I highly recommend that you print, read, and refer to these documents throughout these next couple weeks. This is the grading rubric. Here is a template of Essay 1. This is just sort of paragraph by paragraph outline or template of what you plug in where. I highly recommend using that. It is not necessary, but very helpful. And here's some model student essays for past semesters for Essay 1. One just last semester on this very same topic, and then another semester on a different topic about an honor code. Okay, so very important that you print these out. Okay, all of this in the middle here, as I said, is a folder which may not appear that to you in that way. If you click on each one of these, you'll see there's different components of an essay that I want you to learn about. The process of writing, this is sort of a graphic that shows you, let's go to it, not responding, there we go. It shows you that the process of writing can be multi-directional. It can start anywhere. Usually it starts with brainstorming, but not always. And then there's all these different steps or phases that you can see are multi-directional, in that you can revisit them at any time, right? So if you start with brainstorming and then you get this, okay, I think I know what I want to write about, and here's my working thesis, then you've created, okay, you've done these couple steps here. From there, you might want to start drafting your ideas, or you might want to start outlining them, adding sources to back them up. Well, usually you can't start with that one. Edit and proofread. You might find proofreading, I highly recommend leaving that to the very, very bitter end. That really has to do with sentence level, and you don't want to really do anything sentence level until you have a pretty polished idea of your contents and organization. Okay, so you can take a look at that also. This has to do with brainstorm, some of the components of the process of writing, such as brainstorming, creating a working thesis, creating an informal outline. Then there's body paragraphs. That is a very, very important component of this. I would not miss that. Then there's opposing viewpoints. So body paragraphs and opposing viewpoints, actually all of this is going to inform the two blogs that are graded. One is thesis and body paragraphs. So you're going to do a blog in which you tell me what your working thesis is and one body paragraph that supports it. And that is going to rely on your knowledge of body paragraphs and using double chunk evidence, which you will read in this reading here. Blog 2 is about point and counterpoint. That means somebody makes a point, and then there's always someone who believes something a little bit differently, right? So you want to keep your entire audience in mind. Who might object to this, and what might they object to, and you want to address it. It makes your essay comprehensive. And shows your readers that you've considered their point of view if they happen to differ from yours. And then it tells you how to address those points of view in this reading here. Okay, so there's some more components here. I won't go through all of them. You'll see them on your own. Then you want to apply the concepts to your own writing. So this sort of is a little bit of a guide that helps you do that. Okay, now that I've learned these things, I'm going to look back at my draft, which my original first draft, which was your diagnostic, and I'm going to start to revise it, right? Maybe I revise my thesis. Maybe I revise the order of my body paragraphs. Maybe I add some opposing viewpoints where I didn't have any before. Maybe some of the points that I make, I learned how to use a double chunk of supporting evidence, which you'll find here. Titles, introductions, and conclusion, also something you want to look at. So all that gets applied here, applying concepts to your essay draft. Okay, so peer workshops, we're not doing that this week, but I'm introducing you to how peer workshops work. What the benefit is of them, what to do and what not to do. And then this approach to peer editing here, getting you ready. Oh, that's that part, I'm sorry. This peer workshop's a peek into next week's peer editing is merely just take a peek in there, see who your partner is, look at what the tools are that you can use, like the file exchange is the one thing that is going to be most important for you to use, and maybe the email function. So you and your partner can email back and forth and communicate with one another about the timing of for next week of how you will look at one another's drafts in 2 phases. So you're going to look first at their draft just for content and organization, not for anything related to sentences. Then the second time around, once their essay's been revised a little bit, then you will look at it again for sentences. Okay, then there's an MLA quiz on in-text citations and works cited. You will have to read, and the instructions for that are in there. It will tell you what to read and what to use as reference. It will be in the back of your textbook. You may take that quiz as many times as you want until you get it to where you want it. So the first attempt must be before the deadline of this week's folder, right? So the due date, as I said, is Saturday, June 18th, 11:59. So the first attempt at that quiz must be in by that date. If you do subsequent attempts, they can be before that date as well, but they can be after also. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to learn it, and that's what's important, okay? So over and out for this week. If you have any questions, as usual, you can always email me. Okay, see you next time.